going. I'm live. Excellent. Now we do this thing where I wait till I hear it. But thank you all. Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and this is Movie Crap Live. I'm very happy to have you all here this Saturday night. Wait to hear myself. Now we do this thing where I wait. There we go. There we go. So, I'm glad to have you all here. I think it's going to be a cool night. I want to say hello to everyone in the chat from Cordbread, Austin, Nathaniel Fogel, Ace the Wind Rider, Bruce Parker, Eric Peretta, Zane Powers. Hey, Alex is here. Alan Royce Project. I don't know. Ransan Film. How Catalum HD. Everybody. Cool. We're here on a Saturday night. All in quarantine. Jesus B. Jordan Salafalo. Am I ever saying that right? I'm assuming no. Cornbread. M. Blood T. We're here. I hope I sound okay. Zodberg. How's it going? Atomic Beeswax. If it sounds worse than normal, let me know. I feel like got that Jim approved. Alright, cool. Let me bring my face up. And hey, how's it going? How is everyone? It's good to see all your beautiful faces this fine, wonderful morning or at night. You know what I mean. Whatever. Alright, so it's another Saturday night in the YouTubes, and we're all here. The gang's all here together. I sound okay. Cool. Thank you, Frank Clark. Kinda an echo. Well, I don't... More echo than normal? I don't know. Is there an echo? I don't think there's that much of an echo. Is there? It's good enough. Sounds fine. Oh, watch. Where's all the cheese? Nice reference. Nice reference. Alright, so there's, I guess, considerable movie news this week, but who rang the dingster? Oh. Okay, well, I don't know what to do about an echo, because the kind of here, is it, Can you still hear me now? I guess that's it. I think something else came up. It's fine. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. If Alex says it's okay, I don't know. I think something else keeps getting turned on. OBS is being weird. But anyway, if the echo went away, it sounds worse than normal. It's Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, you good? No, okay. Well, I do have Red Bulls, but, we gotta wait. We have a tradition. Anyway, it's been a usual week, I don't think anything too notable. Obviously, I think everything I watch you guys know about. It's been a pretty good... I don't know. Been a good week of content. I feel like I've been posting some good stuff. Feel good about that. Really happy about How Did It Bomb Speed Racer. I actually shot that a while ago, and I was always sort of intimidated to do it. But I finally did, and I feel really great about it, to be honest with you. And then, yeah. Alright, so, I guess before we get fully started, I don't have any, good, so if you watch this week, she watched, Princess and the Frog and the stuff she normally watches. So I don't have too good of stories. We jumped on the bed a lot. That's cool, stuff like that. Midnight Gospel, that's true. I will talk about HBO Max later, Eric. Don't worry. But Midnight Gospel's interesting. I did not realize there was any sort of Knockforce connection until I watched it. Apparently, a lot of other people knew that. So that was interesting to watch it and go, oh, this is sort of familiar. A lot, I'd say, better and different, but it was sort of interesting that I was kind of... I don't know. I was kind of it was interesting because I know Animation Pals, which Ian and him worked on. You should check that out. And then, yeah. So I don't know. That review will be interesting. I haven't watched more than an episode, but I actually really liked it, and I kind of would like to watch all of it at some point. So, but I know Pendleton Moore was a fan of Knockforce, and then him and Ian worked on a similar project Animation Pals. So I guess that's sort of a connection, but I'm not sure. I don't think I get any residuals. It's just sort of like, and Dr. Katz came up with the format. But you can tell there's a thing there, I guess. Maybe I'm being a little weird about it. But anyway, no, he didn't rip it off. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Anyway, so let's just get into the news, because that's why you're really here. Maybe to see me babble on. I'm not sure. Possibly. Whatever. All right. So, I think the big news of this week is that Scoob is going to digital for $20, much like Trolls. This was kind of a shock because Scooby-Doo had been looked like it was going to theaters. They hadn't dated it. That when they pulled it from theaters, they didn't give it a new date, which did sound suspicious. I'm sort of curious why they're holding Tom and Jerry, it seems like, is keeping that release date, and why they think clearly that needs to go to theaters instead of this. But they chose this week to say it is going to keep its original release date, which now I'm forgetting, because I wrote down all the stuff I needed to. It's keeping its original release date, just really going to digital. And it's sort of interesting for a lot of regards, but I think I want to first talk about why it's interesting what they're doing with it, and then what this means for animation, because this is not going to be the only film. I mean, this obviously is the second film to do that. Oh, and maybe I should have said the Discord. You know what, Austin, you're right, and I should have said the normal things I do. Thank you very much, Austin, for keeping me on track. Cheers to you. I'm almost goofy. It's always like, oh, thank you, Jesus B. There we go. All right. So, oh, it's cool that you're doing a book club, Austin. I think that's very cool. I'm not good at reading books, really, or finishing them. So, anyway, I'm going to get more into the Scoob things. Let me just... I totally derailed this already. All right. Let's start over, and then I'll get back into Scoob. All right. So, this show and everything I do is supported by you, the viewers, or viewers like you, either through Super Chat, which Jesus B and Austin just did, or through my Patreon, which is linked below in the description. I understand right now it's financially tight, and everything is difficult, but if you are financially able to do so, I would very much appreciate the support, and I thank you very much if you are able to do so. Also, please check out the Discord. It is really great. All right, I'm just going to start over with Scoob. I'm sorry. All right, so the big movie news of the week was that Scoob is going straight to digital. $20, much like what happened with Trolls, and $25 to buy, which is different than what Trolls did, which was only a rental. This, you can spend the extra $5 to actually own the movie. It is keeping its original release date. It's keeping its original release date of May 15th and just going straight to digital. This is a lot different. Is just going straight to digital. And I was I do find this interesting, because I did think they would move it in favor of move Tom and Jerry and put this in its slot, but they didn't. They clearly have a lot of faith in Tom and Jerry, but there's probably more to that, to be honest with you. But this does kind of mean, like, why aren't we seeing this with, more adult films or non-animated films, basically? We're seeing family-oriented animated films doing this route. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's not as... the first one that's more obvious is that a whole family can buy... The whole family can buy, like a family of four can justify spending $20 because it's about what they'd spend to go to the movies and so forth. So it sort of financially makes more sense for families, and families are spending a lot more on entertainment right now. I can tell you, like, we're buying stuff for Sophie, like activity books, and, my DVD of Kiki's Delivery Service was a little scratched, so we bought her, like, the new restored Blu-ray, which changes some things, which I like for the better, but the Disney one's a little more kid movie-y. But, with that, they know that expense is going up. The other thing with the kids movie thing is that a lot of these had deals with a lot more things than your average film does. Zane Powers with another super chat. Thank you, Zane. Is Movie Crap better than Community on Netflix? Sadly, no. Sadly, no. Cheers to you, though. Whoa, Niji Kichu. There we go. Fun fact, in 1989, the original release of Star Wars was selected for the preservation by the National Film Registry U.S. of Congress, but didn't receive it since Lucas would only offer the special editions in which they didn't want... Oh my god, so Star Wars isn't in the film registry. Holy shit. Like, I've heard he's done... By the way, I've heard... Thank you very much for this. Cheers to you, Niji Kichu. Cheers to you. Thank you. That was like, holy crap. Wow. And I think, aren't you like an essential worker, Niji Kichu? So thank you very much for doing that also, by the way. But holy crap. Like, I've heard he does that with, like, when there's, like, a film festival of 70s films. Like, it's like, this is history, so we're going to play the original one from the 70s because we're talking about 70s films and films that changed 70s filmmaking. And he's like, yeah, no, I didn't make one of those. And you're like, yeah, you fucking did, bro. Like, what? Anyway, that was a crazy... Man, Niji Kichu just... This is hard to get through this Scoob thing. Alright, cheers. So back to Scoob. So, the thing with Scoob, in addition to everything, is also because they know parents will spend more on entertainment. They will spend for that movie, a new experience. They'll be like, Friday night we're watching Scoob, which I think we're going to do, because Sophie actually does want to watch Scoob. But in addition to that, let's say your kid likes Scoob, and you're buying activity books, and you're buying stuffed animals on the regular right now. Guess what? There is a higher chance you're going to buy that shit for your kid than if that came out in theaters. So, it stinks. Cheers to you, Austin. So, here's what I'm saying. Animated movies. I love the art of animation. I'm not trying to stomp on them or say shit about them. But here's the thing. These movies are not just about the box office. So that's probably why financially it makes a little more sense to put them on VOD. They know they're going to make the money from the families because of the entertainment thing already. But then you get the added thing that, yeah, kids are hungry for entertainment right now. So if they like something, guess what? Sophie got Frozen puzzles. This person got, like, I know kids who've been, parents are like, I know my kid likes this. I'm going to get them an extra thing to make quarantine better. So you're not only going to spend the $20 if you like the movie. Let's say 50% of those kids who watch it, who, maybe you only got $5 of them if you divide it among the family or whatever, then you're going to get an extra $5 for that Scoob doll, almost guaranteed, over when, if it came out in theaters, you might get like 10%. You know what I'm saying? And additionally, because these movies are not just about the box office, they know that they are not going to lose as much. I hear the Wayback mentioned a lot. Like, the Wayback would never go VOD because it's a small drama and stuff like that. So Scoob itself is perfect for that. And it's also because they know, like, hey, we're having HBO Max launch right around then with all this Scooby-Doo content that's on our streaming service. It helps advertise that. It justifies its means, and it's going to work out. But you're not going to see that with bigger films because they are more about the box office than just this merchandise campaign that they're really kind of trying to push. So the other question is, what does this mean for SpongeBob Sponge on the Run? I do agree it doesn't look good. It looks like a VOD thing is possible. I disagree with that. What's going on with Universal and Trolls and Scoob is different. And I think everyone's way of thinking about modern exhibition and how we do movies right now when it comes to this stuff needs to change, like, right now. That is changing immediately. If you think this is the simple, like, Scoob is bad, so it's going to VOD, that is not what's going on. And if you think that, especially everything with COVID, I think everything with COVID, it's just not, it's changing. and you have to be ready to adapt to the change. It's not that they don't believe in it. Frankly, it might mean they believe in it more because they know it can withstand this and make them money. It's probably they have a lot of faith in it. So I think it's interesting, but I think it's going to happen with more animated films, and I think with SpongeBob we could see it happening as well. But I think the differences between with Warner's and Scoob and Universal and Trolls is that they are bigger studios that have a lot more release dates, and those films don't matter as much as SpongeBob matters to Paramount. And if Paramount loses SpongeBob, that's a bigger deal for them. So they're going to hold on to that shit for as long as they possibly can. They're not letting go of SpongeBob from that release date because they need SpongeBob to be a big hit at the box office. It might be, you could say the merchandise play, sure, but I think they kind of want to see, because no one knows how much Trolls made, by the way. Still, people are like, oh, it made $50 million that weekend. I have heard no updates on weekend 2, by the way. And I don't know if it even transcended past the $50 million thing. I don't know if the merchandise thing worked out for him. So SpongeBob, I think Paramount, unless Scoob makes like $200 million, they're not doing that. So we'll see. But I think it is a possibility, but I think Paramount's different than, like, there's 3 studios that have like a lot of animation, and it's Warner's, Universal, and Disney, and Paramount isn't one of them. And so SpongeBob matters a lot to them, and they're not fucking it up right now. So that's kind of the deal. I understand a lot of the merch is out, and that'd be normal for things like Calico Plus brings up. But I think the difference is, like, you're selling, I mean, all the merchandise for Scoob is probably already out too, but they understand that, like, they need, well, that's the other thing. This merchandise is already out. You only have a limited amount of time to, like, that you've spent all this money and try to make it back. So to be honest, that might actually mean more that SpongeBob will go into VOD if they have to, because they know they have to sell that stuff. That's the other thing with these things. They know they have all that Trolls crap out there. That takes years and months and so forth to align, whereas a smaller movie, you don't really need all that. So basically, the problem with animation is all the things that go into it, all the other ancillary properties that go into sell, and that's why Scoob is in the situation it is, and possibly why SpongeBob will also. Actually, so Calico Plus, you brought up a really good point in there. Anyway, I just wanted to check the chat really quickly. Niji Kichu, thank you very much for the super chat. That was a really good super chat, by the way. And the monetary value was nice too. Cheers to you again. All right. Sorry, I feel like I went really into the Scoob thing. Okay, so next up, I have 2 things, and then we'll talk about all the release date changes. There were a lot this week, and the history of theaters, or what's going on with theaters. Sorry, what is going on with Kevin James? I'm very confused, and I prefer Soundgarden. But what is with this Kevin James? Was there something about Kevin James I said? I'm very confused. You guys are anyway. I don't know when Close Enough is coming. That's a good point. All right, so one theater in Florida. There's only one theater that's reporting box office results, and it's a drive-in in Florida. This is actually true, and it was the only theater reporting box office from new releases because there's no new releases. I will learn about Kevin James. I'm very confused. So it actually, so there are 2 IFC release films. One's called Resistance and one's called Swallow. And they reported the weekend gross was $2,000 and $2,150. So, yeah. Jim, I mentioned a Grape Ape movie and someone said he should play Grape Ape. That's about all I know. I mean, I guess Kevin James should play Grape Ape. I don't know. Anyway, one more thing before we get into all the release date changes. David Lynch, someone asked him, will he see Dune? And he said no. He was like, it was a really painful thing for me and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, bro. I mean, you could just say, I don't know, maybe. Like, you don't have to... Oh, I dropped... Anyway. You don't have to be all weird about... it's David Lynch. He has to be weird about everything because that's his brand. Whatever. All right, anyway. So... let's get into the release date things, because there were a lot of Marvel stuff. Spider-Man, Spiderverse, Connected, actually. I saw people saying Connected was safe, and I didn't get to say something, so now I am. All right, so here is all the release date things. First, Batman. Batman, this is a big one. The Batman was pushed, which was originally going to be June of next year. June 25th has now been moved to October 1st of 2021. This is a big deal, and I've heard... Okay, I want to say this again because I think we really need to preface this, is so many people are bringing into that, oh, they moved it to a bad release date, they don't believe in it. No, release dates as you knew them do not mean what you think they used to mean. They are having a huge dating problem. Productions are being moved back far and away and stuff. So anytime something gets moved, and you know, I've seen people on Twitter going like, "Oh, Scoob sucks. That's why they did that. Oh, this is that. That's why they did." I'm like, no, they're just freaking out and they're trying to find what will hopefully work, and they're trying to. It's like all this like 4D chess shit going on with these movies. So anyone saying that, the release calendar is definitely going to change in, I hope positive ways, but. I also noticed a lot of people talking shit about Scoob in like entertainment, like kind of podcasts and stuff, because they're like, I mean, did anyone really want to even see that? And I was like, everyone I knew wanted to see Scoob. I want to see Scoob. I'm excited. Anyway. But yeah, so the Batman was moved. That was a pretty big one. They'd only shot about 25%, so it sort of makes sense because obviously production's not getting done like they thought it would be right now. The next Spider-Man movie that will apparently... have home in the title somewhere was going to be on July 16th of next year, has now been moved to November 5th of 2021. That obviously messes with Doctor Strange 2, which was supposed to come out in November 5th, 2021, and then was moved now to March 25th, 2022. So a Spider-Man movie moved a Sam Raimi movie. So yeah. Also, I should mention, I was going to mention at the end of the show, but Ransam Film and we did a podcast on his channel about John Waters. You should check that out. And yeah, I'll mention that again at the end. Scoob was to see you too, Jim. Thank you. All right, so Spiderverse. This was kind of a big one for me. How would you... Oh, from Zane Powers. This is an interesting one. How would you like the movie release dates to change? Thank you very much, Zane Powers, for the super chat. I would like it. I sort of don't like when we get bombarded at the end of the year with so many things. It's like hard to catch up. And I sort of wish things were spread out and they didn't have too many large things. And then especially like, why isn't Labor Day a big movie weekend? That should be a big movie weekend. I've never really understood that. It like doesn't make any sense to me because it's a 3-day weekend and like it's like the doldrums of the movie week. Of the movie year, really. I wish there's more on that. I wish they pushed like more interesting things. I wish they messed around with release dates, kind of spreading things out, things of that nature. Because it does feel like sometimes when we could go to the movies, we'd have a couple weeks without anything major. And I sort of think like, couldn't you have spread this out? And like, I hate when it's like 4 things on a weekend, like stuff like that. I really have always hated. But anyway. So, Doctor Strange was moved. As I said, Thor 4 has actually been moved up. One of the few movies that have moved up. Other movies have now been pushed back in what I'm about to tell you were too, but whatever. But Thor has been moved up a week in 2022 from February 18th to February 11th, which is the weekend before Valentine's Day, which frankly is a better weekend to have. Connected, which I noticed people were saying wasn't moved, but has been moved from September 18th to October 23rd of this year. Hotel Transylvania 4 has been moved from August 6th of next year to... Was it next year? It might be 2022. I forget. I didn't write the year because I'm stupid. To Christmas, the Christmas season of 12/21. Then... the Mission Impossible movies. Now, this was a big thing because they're shooting both at once, so both have been pushed back. And this is the furthest I think I've seen a pushback, but there's a conflict here, and I will get into that. Mission Impossible 7 was supposed to come out on July 23rd of next summer, 2021. It's been moved to November 19th, 2021. That is interesting because I don't think any Mission Impossible has ever opened not in the summer. right? So that's got to be weird. And then Mission Impossible 8, because they're shooting at the same time, was supposed to come out in August. And then moving on, then it was moved to November 4th. To my understanding, Gendy is not doing Hotel Transylvania 4, but I don't know if there's a director announced. I sort of forget what's going on with Hotel Transylvania 4. So here's kind of the complication with Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible 7 being delayed was announced... No, Mission Impossible... Sorry. Whoa! Where? Saber Sparks there. How you doing? Hey, Jim. Hope you and the family are doing great. Well, think Godzilla vs. King Kong will get pushed back to 2021. It was already delayed once, but now I have no idea what's happening with this virus stuff. I hope it does well. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mr. Saber Sparks. Cheers to you. He did a good interview with the, was it Unsubbed Heroes? That was a cool interview. I listened to that today. As well as congrats again on the 1 million subs and the recent video. But thank you very much. I will, to be honest with you, I can see it being delayed again. There's not a lot of love for it. And I mean, did they ever release a trailer even? See, now I'm going to go look, see what it's up against. Because here's the other thing. I used to have like a memory of the release schedule. I'd be like, oh, that's a bad time of year because of this thing, you know? And now I'm like, who knows? It changes like weekly. So because of Mr. Saber Sparks, who's very generous with that super chat, I'm going to go look it up. I'm going to go look it up right now, just for this guy. All right, November 2020. Oh, it says the world will be over by then. Oh, that sucks. Sorry. So, I can still see it happening under the current structure of what I'm seeing. So, November 20th, well, it's not good, though. So, November 20th, you get Soul, which is the Pixar movie, and then you get Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, here's why you would move it, to be honest with you. No Time to Die opens November 25th. Now, I think No Time to Die has more positive buzz and, frankly, has a trailer out, and there's been more talk about it than Godzilla vs. Kong. So I could honestly see them moving Godzilla vs. Kong. As for where it would move post that, who the fuck knows? Because it's like so confusing at this point. But I think to answer your question, Saber, I think it's highly possible. But right now, there's been no announcement, and Warner Brothers has been pretty heavy on the announcements this past week. So we'll see. But right now, I've not heard anything, and they moved a lot of stuff, but they didn't move that. So. But yeah, basically answer that. So anyway, back to this. I'm sorry, I feel like this becomes like, this is moved and this is moved part of the show, but that's movie news, I guess. Anyway, so Shazam 2, which was originally going to come out on April Fool's Day of 2022, has been moved to November 4th, 2022, which also has Mission Impossible 8. You can't have both those the same weekend. I'm fairly certain Shazam 2 will move. A lot of people pointed out that its young cast will be too old by that point. We'll see what they're doing with Shazam 2. Shazam is an awesome movie if you haven't seen it. This is the fun news. You get some fun news of this. So Venom got moved from October 2nd of this year to June 25th of next year. Oh, hold on. Before I talk about Venom, Bloxy Oxenwinkle here. Since you have a strong connection to Kevin James, what do you think is his best work? Obviously, Paul Blart is up there, but he did a lot of TV too. Well, thank you very much, Bloxy Oxenwinkle. Cheers to you. To be honest with you about Kevin James, one, I always thought if there was a movie made about me, there's no way I'd be have good luck enough to have someone cool play me, and it would definitely be Kevin James. But also, this is going to be a take you're not ready for. So the chat better get ready right now. I don't mind Paul Blart Mall Cop, the first one. I used to have a beer, sit down, relax. I get sad because his daughter really believed in him and he was like this sweet guy. I'm down with Paul Blart Mall Cop. The first one. Second one, fuck that movie. But the first Paul Blart Mall Cop, Jim can have a nice whiskey, put his feet up after a long, hard day's work, cry because life is weird, and you're like, his daughter really believes in him. Sorry, what were we doing? What's going on? Anyway, so Venom 2. Venom 2 was moved. But here's the kicker with Venom 2. Here is the title. Venom 2 is called Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Venom, I sort of like how ridiculous the first Venom is. I mean, it is bad, but man, Venom just keeps being Venom. Can't stop them Venom movies. Just shit. So, here we're going to go through a bunch of them. There's a Sopranos prequel film, which, by the way, if you've never seen The Sopranos, get on that shit. It's one of the greatest shows of all time. Pretty much influenced the whole TV era we're in now. And if you've never watched The Sopranos, you're doing yourself a disservice. I didn't watch it until, like, around the time I started Pizza Party, actually. And my wife and I really like The Sopranos. We watched it all together. It was great. Anyway, so that's called The Many Saints of Newark. Is now scheduled for March 12th, 2021 instead of September 24th, apparently, but we never saw a trailer, and that sounds like a bunch of garbage. But will there still be carnage? Oh, there will be, and it's played by Woody Harrelson. Get ready, son. Get ready. Get ready. Man, you guys, I feel like anytime I'm like, I'm not that goofy, and then the chat's like, nah, Jim, you be goofy this time. All right, anyway. Oh, it was Venom 2, Spirit of Venom. I'm going to kill this. We're getting through this Red Bull already. Cheers to you, Zane. Cheers to you, Austin. That's killed. Cheers to the super chat. All right, moving on to the second Red Bull there. All right, let's get through the rest of these. Apparently, there's an Elvis Presley biopic. If you wondered why Tom Hanks was in Australia getting coronavirus, you can thank Baz Luhrmann's Elvis biopic for that. Not really a joke. That is actually what happened. And I know his blood is being used for coronavirus stuff. I just hope it makes people nicer. But anyway, that is actually why. It was going to be October 2nd, 20, or whatever Batman's release date is now, I guess, was going to be its release date, and now it's been moved back to November 5th, which probably works out because I think they think that's going to be an Oscar movie, but that sounds probably stupid. Although, I could see you making, if you ever saw the TV movie of Elvis and Me about Elvis's relationship with Priscilla, I could go on about how fucked up Elvis's relationship with his first wife was. Partly that she was 14, also that he drugged her all the time. And I read the book because I used to be fascinated by it, and he got her super high on pills and she slept an entire weekend. Also, by the way, going to high school because her parents were cool with them being married. So anyway, make a movie of that. Me Too would love it. Anyway, that was dangerous. All right, so the Tomorrow War, which was going to open around Christmas, is now opening July 23rd, 2021. Dungeons and Dragons, which apparently was going to come out next November somehow, is going to come out May 27th, 2022. I like Michi Kichu's fun fact on counter by Elvis creepiness was Elvis did like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Nice, Michi Kichu. Way to bring the thing up. Fatherhood, which was the only movie that really got pushed up, has now been pushed back even further. I think it was coming out in January, February originally. Got pushed. It's a Kevin Hart movie. Got pushed to October 23rd. It was like, good for you, Kevin Hart movie. Then got pushed back to October 2nd, 2021. Man from Toronto, which I'm assuming that's about something about a man from Toronto, has been moved from November 20th, 2020 to September 17th, 2021. Uncharted, which is a movie we think that will happen, was going to come out on October 8th of next year, is now going to come out on July 16th of next year, which pretty much means there is no fucking way that society is going to exist then. Because they're like, just keep pushing it. Because, wow. And the film called The Nightingale, which was going to come out this Christmas, has now undated. So, everything's been moved. There's been a lot of talk of what is going to streaming next. Because we had The Lovebirds, which got announced. That is going to be on Netflix this coming month. My Spy doesn't have a release date from Amazon Prime as of when I'm talking now. But we'll see what happens with all that. But it seems like the bigger movies, almost every studio executive has said we're not doing that because financially it doesn't make sense. The smaller movies, I think so. Disney, it's a little easier because they just just email the movie to another department, because that's how movies work, right? But I think we'll start seeing a little bit more of that going on. If this gets worse, if there's a second wave, which there's a high possibility of, I don't mean to bring everyone down, but just expect the worst. But you're not going to see, in terms of VOD, it's going to continue to be animated films. Sponge on the Run should be worried. Connected should also be worried if we're really going to get into it. But anything else that's smaller and not a blockbusters are just going to keep moving. But the fact that the ultimate D&D film is the Diesel Last Witch Hunter. Oh, open in the second Red Bull there, Austin. That's true, because it's actually based on someone thing. Is that the most genuine? Here's a question that you've brought up, Austin, and I'll drink this Red Bull in a second. Is The Last Witch Hunter the only genuine D&D film? Because it is based on someone's character they genuinely came up with and played for years during a D&D campaign, where the others are made on assignment to make a D&D thing. So is it the only, like, this is for real though, is it the only D&D piece of media made from someone genuinely loving playing D&D originally? That's not fan fiction, like a major movie. Like, I think it is. So, Scoob, I think it's May 15th. Whenever I said it earlier in the show, that was the correct one, because I had the article in front of me, so I'm sorry. But it's its original release date going to VOD, so. There was the D&D thing starring Tom Hanks. I've always wanted to review that. Maybe, why the fuck not right now, bro? You know? Look at us. Anyway. So, continuing on with this theater thing, someone at AT&T said sort of a big thing. Now, AT&T and Warner's are continuing to say Tenet is going to be the first major movie, although The Purge 5 opens a week before, but no one wants to take the Purge films seriously because, like, I don't know what... first off, guys, if you want to get woke on the people in quarantine, watch The Purge 2. The Purge 2 is awesome. Purge 3 less so. Purge 4 I'm fine with. I'd fuck with 2, 3, 4. One sucks. Just see Assault on Precinct 13. Actually, see Assault on Precinct 13, the original, then see Purge 2, 3, 4. And anyway, but Purge 5, to my understanding, hasn't moved. But anyway, Warner's is really putting a lot of emphasis on Tenet. And AMC is actually saying they're not really going to fully open. They don't expect to fully open until they have product to show. And especially what happened this week. So Georgia, we'll get into... Well, and I'm on this wave, so I'm doing it. So Georgia basically said we can open movie theaters as early as next week. And the movie theater industry very quickly said, yeah, fuck no. We're not doing that. I don't know. I don't care what you want, Georgia. We're not opening. So I think a few independent theaters in Georgia possibly are. Oh, hold on. We're getting some super chats here. But I don't think they're not. Mainstream chain theaters are not. So first, same power as Purge 5, more like The Hunt. Cheers to you. You're right. But not really, because I think the Purge 5 would be better than The Hunt. Bloxy Oxenwinkle, now that everything is being pushed back, what do you think the odds are of Sonic making a strong Oscar showing? I've said for a while, I think it would be an amazing victory lap if Sonic gets a Best Visual Effects nomination. I think that should happen. The Ghetto Beaner said there was an anime called Goblin Slayer based on... I don't know. What? Is there more? Is that a question for me? I'm not sure. That's true, Austin. Purge 4 is the prequel one, but the creator's D&D campaign. I didn't know that. Okay, when was Goblin Slayer? Maybe that you have a point. Maybe it's been done before. But the first movie, I think, was Last Witch Hunter. Anyway, thank you, Bloxy Oxenwinkle. Thank me, Ghetto Beaner. So, anyway, I like that the movie industry, like AMC, Regal, Cinemark, I don't know, I didn't see a movie when I was in Atlanta, but they've all said, I don't care if you want us to open, we're not ready to open. Now, what theaters are going to do, because the big question of, since everyone's going to be continuing wearing masks for the most part in major cities, how will they sell concessions? Because if you didn't know, that's how movie theaters make all their money. And if you're not really able to, how are you going to take off your mask and eat if you're worried about COVID and so forth? So they're trying to come up with things. Apparently there's going to be a lot of gloves, is what they've said. They're going to be wearing, they're going to be wearing a lot of gloves. There's going to be a lot of masks, things like that. There's going to be like plastic coverings. Like a lot of places in New York have plexiglass over like the registers and things like that. So there's gonna, although most theaters have that with the ticket selling thing. So I think we'll see what they're going to do, but a lot of them have said they might try to reopen a few weeks or a week or two and show more repertory stuff and things of that nature. But they're not going to really expect to open until July 17th with Tenet. And here's the thing with Tenet, and which makes this even bigger for Warner's, is Tenet is going to be a big IMAX push. And like I think I said this last week, with movies that are selling for IMAX, you really have to get those dates in, because if Tenet doesn't move to Christmas, if that movie gets moved, that movie moves to next year. That's just a fact, because Top Gun is basically not moving. We didn't realize what Top Gun was doing when it moved to Christmas, because I think they knew Tenet would want that slot, and they took it. So it's making, and Chris Nolan, I think, wants to open the theaters, but let's be real here. If they had that Christmas slot, they would have took it, and then Mulan would have opened theaters. I think, to be honest, Mulan might be the better Disney live-action remake, or who cares? But I think, and I'm not a huge Chris Nolan fan, to be honest with you, but I don't hate him. I'm just not like as into him as other people. I think like Sinram really likes. You can like, that's fine. Sinram and I like very casually disagree with each other sometimes, but I still see every Chris Nolan movie like pretty soon after it comes out. But regardless, I do think it'll show off like what theaters can do. It can show the IMAX. You can play it on in what are they called? Large. Well, it's not called not IMAX theaters. It's like large screen presentation theaters. I forget what the IMAX ripoffs are. There's a name for them. Doesn't matter. But it really shows off the best what the theater experience can do. So I get that, and I think it would be a good one if they are. But if it does move, it's going to be a while, basically. And you know, we'll see what happens. They probably have. They probably have a plan. I hope. I don't know. I'm sure every studio executive is like, I have too many things to worry about. But they should make the theaters takeout only. That's interesting. Black Sea Axel. I've heard people say that they might do a thing where you can buy your food or like eat it outside or like before you come in. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting how they're going to do that. I really like Dunkirk, Austin. I'm just like not as passionate about it. Any Black Sea Ox, I'm like, well, thank you for the super chat. Thank you all very much for the support. You guys are wonderful. But anyway, so that's what's going on with theaters. We're not exactly. Oh, Ghetto Beaner. Well, thank you there. Okay. Well, that's what's going on. We'll see what's going on, but it is interesting with theaters. We're hearing a lot about repertory stuff. I keep hearing the Back to the Future trilogy, which would be. I would love to see 1 and 2 in theaters. I'm like, you know, if I'm crunched for time, we're not doing 3. I'd like to see Harry Potter, the 4K restoration, and the Avengers movies if they're doing that. And also, by the way, you know, the Jaws restoration, which I think could happen. I've not heard anything. It's just the timing seems too great for me. So despite the fact that Warner's, like, literally several statements they put out this week keeps pushing that Tenet's coming out July 17th, like, everyone's like, when are they going to move it? But they're being very proud about it. Despite that, Warner's, and who's their parent company, or who owns them, or however that works, AT&T, has said, this is their quote, one of the executives says, "This experience will change many things," talking about COVID, obviously, including customer behaviors and expectations. We're evaluating our product distribution strategy, relooking at volumes and the required support levels we need in a down economy. We're rethinking our theatrical model and looking for ways to accelerate efforts that are consistent with the rapid changes in consumer behavior from the pandemic. Now our focus is on defining and leveraging the new normal across all our platforms. Across all our operations. Basically meaning we are thinking of, like, do we still need to do theaters? And the theater model, the theaters were kind of upset about this, and then the people who work at Warner Brother Pictures clarified that they're not giving up Tenet's July 17th, guys, Christopher Nolan's going to save the theaters, all this stuff. So, to my understanding, it was just kind of like bringing up, they are looking at these models, and I think everyone is right now. That's a natural thing, but it doesn't sound like they're as over theaters as they can be, and especially because if you want these movies that make a ton of money and continue to make money for years and years, like high production budget films do, and that's why studios like them so much, you can't really just go into the streaming model unless you're going to lose a lot and can make that up, unless you're like Netflix, which, by the way, Netflix, you know, that Ryan Reynolds Six Underground movie did cost like a major blockbuster amount. So it isn't impossible, but it sounds like they don't really, you know, none of their streaming services are up to the level of Netflix. Netflix, by the way, is in a huge amount of debt, so maybe they're not the best example. The other thing, okay, I think this is the last one. A24 is releasing this film called Spaceship Earth. They're releasing it in an unconventional way where you can watch it on the websites of certain independent movie theaters and even restaurants and other businesses to support those. So if you want to support your local business and you see it's one of those for Spaceship Earth, please do that. However, they're getting all the headlines for this. This has been going on for a while, from a film about Pauline Kael, who I'm sure you know I really like, called That's What She Said. I've not gotten to see that documentary, but they are doing a similar thing, and it's only through independent theaters. So I know they're doing one in New York. I plan to watch that actually and review it, because obviously I did a whole thing on Pauline Kael. But to support Film Forum here in New York. So if you wanted to see, if you're watching this, I don't know how many of you know who Pauline Kael is or whatever, but if you want to support your independent theaters and they are doing something like that, just do it and you get to see a new movie and it's cool. But Spaceship Earth, it's apparently more about a biodome type scenario. I recently, for people where I work, we saw a biodome ad and it said like, because it was like free on the TV we got for work, and it said like, there's going to be trouble in this bubble. So I always think about that. But anyway, it's about people who lived in a biodome to see how humans would deal with space. So anyway, but yeah, Spaceship Earth is what A24 is doing with it, but I would recommend That's What She Said, because it's about Pauline Kael, and that's what I'm going to do. But if you see any independent movies who are doing that to help local businesses make some money, or local theaters, and you have, if financially and you're able to, by the way, then do it, because one, you get to see a good movie, or a new movie. I don't know if either are good, and you get to support a business. And I'm very much about like trying to support people. I actually signed up to actually help people get groceries today. I'm working on the Pauly Shore is in Biodome. I'm working on the logistics of that, but I'm trying to help more people who can't get groceries get groceries. Not to like, before I talk about the One Punch Man live action remake, I'm actually trying to help more people out. I think we all should. So if you know of any programs and so forth, then ask around. Try to do that. Anyway, sorry. Just because it's scary. All right. I don't want to talk about it right now. So the One Punch Man. The One Punch Man is going to be doing a live action. Here we go. From Niji Kichu. Hit me with the fun facts. Fun facts: in Happy Days, the reason Fonzie has a motorcycle is so he can keep wearing leather jackets since the studio didn't like it. But if he's with a bike, it is considered safety equipment. I mean, what? I don't... Is it really? I don't... That... Niji Kichu's bringing it this episode. I gotta say, dang, like, you've been hitting me with some today. Where do you get these? Is it from that YouTube channel you brought up, or? Damn, Niji Kichu. Cheers to you. Fuck. Man, it was like coming out of nowhere. I'm like, sneak attack. Anyway, sorry. I noticed like you guys are kind of like the end of my week, and I kind of feel like you definitely get like the this is my release day. Anyway, Jim reacting to random facts. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest with you. So Sony is going to be doing a One Punch Man live action remake, I guess, movie. And guess what? Avi Arad is producing it. So I'm sure it's gonna be great. Also, written by two of the writers of Venom. What could go wrong? Yeah, so this is happening. And it sounds like the worst thing ever. Yeah, there's no way this is going to be good at all. So I'm not going to act like I have any take other than this sounds like worse than, season 2 of One Punch Man. All right, anyway. sorry. All right. Let's move on. So we've got a bunch of Star Wars TV news, one of which I realized, I believe it was Austin. Was it Austin? I forget who brought this up now. I'm sorry. I think it had a similar thing, and if I got it wrong, you can tell me. So I'll mention this one first, and then if there was another one and I screwed it up. So I think we already knew there was going to be a Cassian Andor Disney Plus show. It seems it's moving forward, and Tony Gilroy is going to be one of the major showrunners for it. He's the one who basically fixed Rogue One. He apparently... There was a live commentary of Rogue One. They really broke down like a ton of facts in it, and I wanted to like go through it and have all those facts for you, and I never did. But apparently the earlier stuff with Cassian Andor, who Diego Luna played, was mainly from Tony Gilroy. So I think it'll be interesting that we'll see that from him. I think that'll be really cool. I actually recently kind of like watched some of Rogue One, and I was like, man, a Cassian Andor show to me I think would be really cool. So I'm excited for that. Also, Mandalorian Season 3 is going to be happening at Disney Plus. That's like a thing you're like, yeah, duh. I mean, I don't know. Disney Plus doesn't have a lot of originals that really hit, but I will say Mandalorian hit real hard, so it makes sense to me. And then the Russian doll showrunner is creating a Star Wars show, which we're assuming for Disney Plus. This Star Wars show will be more female-centric, apparently, and will take place in a part of the Star Wars universe that we've never been to. So it sounds like one of those things you hear about that's being developed for Star Wars. And you're like, what's it about? And they're like, I don't know, vague shit. And you're like, what? Anyway. All right, so, I mean, that's kind of what they always do. I wish they'd just be like, this person, I don't know. It's like, doesn't matter. All right, so those were the Star Wars Disney Plus things. Yeah. Oh, Stellan Skarsgård? I'm not sure what he's playing, but I guess they wouldn't tell us anyway. All right, so this was... Oh, and then we'll move on to... I have one sort of Back to the Future thing. So I didn't know this was a thing for people because I sort of just understood it in my head. But apparently this is a thing for people, so it became a thing. So I think it was James Gunn who brought up, like, how did the McFlys not recognize Marty when he was their son versus the kid they had, Calvin Klein, I guess, who they met in the 50s and didn't realize it was the same person. And actually Chris Pratt responded on Twitter saying, like, well, I assumed it had been so long since they had seen, Calvin Klein or whatever, that they only saw him for 5 days and it mattered a lot to them. Maybe like, that image changed because it'd been a long time. And Bob Gale basically confirmed that thing. And I didn't know this bothered people. This was never a plot hole for me. Like, I never, cared that much. I was always like, yeah, I don't know. It probably was a while. And maybe they went, I guess that's him, whatever. Doc Brown seems weird. I'm sure there was some Back to the Future things. I'm sure they said that. It just, to me, it was not a thing. But this was, everywhere. Anyway. Yeah, he did drop that playlist as well. You're right. So, Lego. We've been talking about Lego that they decided to leave Warner Brothers, Warner Animation, which is a huge blow to Warner Animation because it seems like that was kind of keep holding them up in terms of what they're doing theatrically, which is probably why they're doing more of the properties they own than they previously were because they're relying far too heavily, by the way, on the Lego franchise. But now they have signed a 5-year deal with Universal and going to make a whole new franchise. Almost every article and tweets from Paleo have mentioned that the Jurassic Park franchise is going to be involved with the Lego movie thing. Sure, I guess. I'd also say probably Fast and Furious. I would say, anything Minions because it's elimination. But this means, so Universal doesn't get enough press for how many studios they have in terms of animation, but they've really been building up their animation unit quite frequently, and I wouldn't be surprised. So basically they have Illumination, and the guy who runs Illumination is kind of the overseer of their animation stuff. And then DreamWorks it has been bought by Universal, and the guy who runs Illumination is also running that. And I keep hearing heavily involved in the new Shrek thing, but we'll see about that. And then, in addition to that, they also now have Lego, which I'm pretty sure the Illumination guy is going to have his hands in as well. And then you have sub things like Mario's going to be made at Illumination. So Universal has probably the biggest animation thing other than Disney in terms of as many different studios. Because Disney has Blue Sky, Pixar, Disney Animation. Universal now has DreamWorks, Illumination, Lego. Which, to me, Lego is a pretty huge franchise. So I think we'll see what's going on. A couple of people are asking me, is this happening? Is this happening? I don't think... I think anything that was in development at Warner Brothers is pretty much gone. But the Billion Brick Race thing, I think, could happen. But we'll see about what's going on there. But yeah, it's going to be weird. And I think it is kind of sad. But it seems like they were unhappy with how Universal developed, like, kind of ruined the franchise. I would say, like, I think Ninjago... like, when getting 2 Lego movies in a year was a bit much, you know, and I think they kind of, the franchise was a bit over, but I don't think we're getting any more Lego Batman. And it seems like they probably have to change the franchise because they can't use Lego Batman because it's a Warner's property, so that's over. So HBO Max, I keep seeing Eric Peretta, so I am excited for HBO Max. It's coming out May 27th, right in time, right, is that after Memorial Day, something like that? We got kind of a bunch of announcements. We didn't get anything about Close Enough, but I would hope it comes out sort of soon. It's going to have a ton of content. It's probably the first big major streaming service to launch, not, you know, Quibi not counting, with, you know, a huge library since Disney Plus. And to be perfectly honest, having probably the biggest, you know, probably an even bigger library than Disney Plus. It's like a major drop. And if we're all still in quarantine, this is going to be a huge thing. You know, having everything from all the Batman stuff, like Forever, everything of Scooby-Doo, Friends, Fresh Prince, Adventure Time is all on the posters for HBO Max. It's going to be a pretty crazy... it's going to be a pretty crazy streaming service, what they're launching. The Turner Classic Movies thing, the curated playlist from like notable film scholars and celebrities. This is a huge streaming service, and I actually am very excited for it. So Eric, sorry it took me a while to get there. The big things that were announced that they're really pushing for were the new Looney Tunes show, the Lethal Weapon trilogy. I already have those on DVD, so I'm not really that excited, to be honest with you. But you know, and there's 4 of those, so I only like 1 and 2. I never was as into 3 and 4, to be honest. But I think I have the first 3. But anyway, yes, those are going to be on there also. But anyway, May 27th is coming out. It was the Not So Late Show with Elmo, which actually looks really good. I don't see Ryan that much here today, but if he was here, I would say I know he's excited. That looks really cool. But as well as the new Looney Tunes show. Apparently, there's going to be... So, they basically dropped that they've been making like hundreds of Looney Tunes cartoons this whole time, which is weird because like that sounds a weird way to develop something. But apparently, here's the deal with the Looney Tunes thing, is they're going to be 80 11-minute episodes, basically, with each episode comprised of shorts of varying lengths. So basically, they've already had like 80 11-minute episodes. So that basically means like 40 half hours of Looney Tunes cartoons right there. So that's 20 hours, I think. Yeah, so 20 hours of Looney Tunes cartoons at launch, I believe, which is crazy. I hope they're good. I like the trailer a lot, actually. I like the thing where Bugs was watching a TV and he said, "Don't you love streaming services?" And it's him watching a stream. Bravo. 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 But I think it's I think it's going to be a cool streaming service. It looks neat. I'm surprised they didn't push up the release date since quarantine in New York. We're supposed to stay at home until May 15th. Maybe they're... I'm sure... To be honest with you, I think Quibi and HBO Max should have switched release dates, because if HBO Max had launched, I would just get it because it'd be cool to have a new streaming service. Whereas Quibi, it's like, I don't... Whoa, that's ending pretty go. Close Enough is going to be shown at a film festival. I don't know what film festival is happening right now. I don't think so, man. I'm sorry. I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, HBO Max is coming. It looks cool. That's really all I have to say about it, to be honest with you. But I think it's going to be probably the streaming wars are really going to heat up with this thing, because this is a major streaming service killer. Everyone's like, Disney Plus is going to own everything. Disney Plus's biggest problem is it doesn't appeal to people who don't like Disney stuff. HBO Max's biggest asset is that it has like so much stuff. You almost are like, oh man, I'm going to sign up for it. Although that doesn't work, because Amazon Prime apparently has more media than anybody, and they're like not as successful as Netflix. So, but I think they have, every Batman movie, Friends, they have the stuff there to get people into it. So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, I hope Close Enough is going to be played. That would be cool. So, and yeah, Eric, be careful about spamming, because you can get in trouble with Google. It's not so much us; it's more for you. All right, so there is a Green Lantern show, but I don't think it's been picked up or anything. So Fraggle Rock, or Rock On, that's a new show on Apple Plus. It has finally released a trailer. The trailer looks really fun. I haven't gotten to watch it, and I want to watch Fraggle Rock again with Sophie. So I think, yeah. It looks cool. It looks fun. I actually watched some Quibi today, and I watched Andre Meadows kind of geek out about how excited he is for this Apple Plus show. I haven't signed up for Apple Plus, although I want to watch the Beastie Boys documentary, so maybe if I get a free trial, I'll check out some Fraggles. I think that might be cool. Yeah. Prime Video... Does Amazon Prime... Anyway. Okay, oh, your birthday's May 9th. Okay. Oh, cool. I'll have to sing happy birthday to you there. Anyway, thank you, Nijikichi, for being here. You did a great job tonight. Cheers to you. But yeah, the Fraggle Rock trailer looked fun. It was just a simple thing talking about social distancing, which I've noticed the Muppet people, according to Jim, the Muppet people are really pushing a lot of stuff right now. They did a cool Sesame Street did a really great CNN special for kids in COVID, which Sophie really liked, and this Fraggle Rock thing happened on Apple Plus, and then the Henson Company released a ton of stuff on Roku. Did I have that? Oh, I didn't copy the link. Anyway, they released a ton of stuff on the Roku free streaming service, which you can go check out. I know Flaffer Hall was on there. I was hoping Ryan would be here, and then he would help us out there. But it's like a ton of stuff, and I think it was Cartoon Brew had it. Anyway, I'm gonna let you know, because I think the Henson companies are really trying to push as much stuff as they can. I know if you get an Apple TV, and I sort of need to get a new computer, because this one is getting up there. Sorry, computer. I don't see it. Anyway, but anyway, if you have Roku on the free Roku service, I know they had Flaffer Hall on there. They had a bunch of cool stuff, so you should check that out on Roku. Other things, there's going to be a Hunger Games prequel. They've gotten the original director, or the director who directed most of the Hunger Games movies from the second one to the end, Francis Lawrence, to direct it. It's going to be about Donald Sutherland's character and his rise to power and stuff. Doesn't sound that interesting or anything like that. It's okay, guys. You're fine. Don't worry. So the South by Southwest Digital Film Festival with Amazon Prime has not really worked out. To be honest, they're not going to have a ton of stuff, but they're going to have a few movies, mostly shorts, documentaries. Most of the films that we're going to play there aren't going to play, and they didn't really do it that well, if we're being real honest with ourselves. They really didn't. But it is happening, and they're going to have a few movies. Nothing real major. They couldn't get most of it, the major stuff like Antlers and so forth, is being delayed. Same with what was it? Lovebirds was going to play there, and the problem is it's like through a streaming service, and a lot of films don't want to lose their rights or be leaked online and things like that. So a few did, but not very many. It seems cool, but apparently You won't have to be behind the Amazon Prime paywall, I think, to do it. So if that weekend, if you're interested, when they are doing it, you should check it out. But other than that, they kind of weren't able to do, I think, what they fully intended. But I think it would actually be cool if they were able to kind of show off what Prime has, which I'm going to talk about later in the night. And I don't know if Will's here during this part of the stream, but if he is, he helped me pick some of those. All right, so there's going to be a Parks and Rec reunion special, mostly about COVID and social distancing. They've gotten the whole crew back. I think it's the whole crew. Chris Pratt, Amy Poehler, Nick Offerman, I think Aziz as well. It seemed like everybody's coming back to do this Parks and Rec reunion special, so I think that will be cool. Oh, I didn't realize. Elwood DD, happy birthday to you. Cheers to you. That's awesome. In other kind of bigger movie news, Fandango has bought the streaming... Oh, you are here. Cool. Fandango has bought the streaming service Vudu. This was the streaming service that is owned by Walmart. It's kind of a big deal because Fandango does have Fandango now, and they wanted to get into the streaming service game for a little bit, and obviously now is the time. So Vudu's alright. They do have some free stuff, so we'll see. Oh, hold on. Can you talk about Crisis on Infinite Earths? Where's Mark? I'm confused. Why would it... Cheers to both. Cheers to you. And cheers to Zane Powers. I'm confused. Like, did something happen with it this week or something? Or just in general? I've never read it. I don't know where Mark is. He might be over there. But I'm confused. Explain to me that Crisis on Infinite Earth thing. Like, it seems cool. I've never actually read it. I've wanted to see the animated movie for forever. That's actually one thing I am excited about HBO Max is the DC animated stuff is all great. So, but anyway, Fandango bought Vudu. Vudu does have a lot of free stuff on there. So I think it's actually a pretty... it can be a cool service. It mostly works as like more of a on-demand kind of thing. And I think that could work out for Fandango because they probably want to make some money elsewhere. So, yeah. I mean, Crisis on Infinite Earth is cool. I do like it from what I understand of it. I've watched videos about it. I've never read it. Sorry. Is that what you want? I'm confused. Anyway, where are we going? All right, so Cary Fukunaga, who is directing the new Bond movie, apparently said one of his pitches for No Time to Die was that it entirely takes place... TV... Well, I talked about that when it happened. That was a while ago, though, Javier Portillo. Whenever that happened, I believe I did talk about it. But that was pretty cool. I thought that was a cool little segment there. So I did talk about it before, but I only saw the little clip, but I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, Cary Fukunaga said he wanted all of No Time to Die to take place in Bond's head when the drill goes in his head at the end of Spectre, which I'm sure you don't remember. And I've heard people say the end of Spectre was like a dream and he died and all that stuff. And he wanted to further go into that concept. It sounds stupid, but that's what he said. Also, I keep seeing these reports that No Time to Die is going to be continued to be worked on, and there were problems editing it. To my understanding, no movie that's been delayed is really doing that, unless they weren't finished. Like, it's just normal sort of production things. Nobody's being re-examined and so forth. Okay, so Brad Bird is co-hosting a show that I've recommended to you guys before called The Essentials. It's on Turner Classic Movies. It's on Saturdays, pretty much right before this show, starting at 8. You could watch that show and then watch this if you wanted to. If you never watched The Essentials, just DVR whatever's there, because they literally just play essential movies. Brad Bird is going to be the co-host. Cartoon Brew, of course, talks shit because Brad Bird is not talking about any animated films during it, which is lame, I agree, but at the same time, you kind of have to do more live action stuff. You have to do a certain amount of live action stuff. I'm surprised he's doing no animation. That's a little shocking. But him co-hosting The Essentials at least makes me interested. I might try to check out what he's doing, because I've kind of soured on Brad Bird after the double dose of Tomorrowland and Incredibles 2 sort of turned me off him, even though he's one of my favorite directors before that. God, he really was too. Shit. But Iron Giant, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, and Mission Impossible 4, that was a really good run. But anyway, we'll see what is going to happen. we'll see with those. I'll probably check out one, but if you've never seen The Essentials, they're on Turner Classic Movies. It's a great way to just see classic essential movies. And if you're like, I just want to see a good movie, it's always a good movie or a movie that you should see for your film education and your film knowledge and film history. So it's like it's something that like even if you just saw it once and you hate it, it's like worth having seen it. I love that show. It's a great show. So try to DVR that. It's every Saturday at 8 o'clock. It's co-hosted by Brad Bird. So if you still like Brad Bird and you want to see essential movies, it's a great way to do it. Yeah, Turner Classic Movies is great. I'm so excited for them to be on the streaming on HBO Max. I think that can be really cool and good for them. So, okay, only one story. Then I'll do a quick bathroom break, and then Amazon Prime recommendations. And I hope Will's here to... I realize I didn't have Will explain many of the ones. I have some from him and some from me, because basically what I'm going to do... Anyway, I'll explain that when I get to it. I have like one more story, and then I don't really have to pee, but I just should, just in case. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Speaking of Bird from Will, how is it no one talking about his new PG-13 animated crime adventure 1906? Sounds cool. Cheers to you, Will. 1906, because it's about the San Francisco earthquake, I will say that's something he's been working on forever. I think he's working on this musical instead, but that one he's been working... I think he was going to do that instead of Mission Impossible, but it almost got canceled, to my understanding, because John Carter was such a bomb, because they were all the Pixar guys were going to move into live action through Disney as Pixar got taken more seriously through the Disney... Once Disney bought Pixar flat out, and they wanted to use their weight at Disney to do these projects, and after John Carter flopped, Brad Bird just had to go to another studio to develop stuff, and I knew he never let it go, so I'm not sure what happened to that, but I will agree that's a cool project. And if you've ever seen, I think it might just be called San Francisco, about the San Francisco earthquake with Clark Gable and Spencer Tracy. I don't remember the name of that. That is a good movie, and I think you could do a really cool movie about the San Francisco earthquake now, because that had great special effects at the time. If you were to up that to now, awesome. Thank you very much, Will. That was a good point. That was an interesting point to bring up. So there's going to be an animated show called Little Demon. It's a Fox, an FX pilot, despite the fact that Disney said they're probably not going to make pilots that don't go to series, but knowing this cast, maybe they're not. But Little Demon is going to have Danny DeVito and Aubrey Plaza, and executive produced by Dan Harmon. Hold on. Nice, Saber. Jim, I missed your reply to the Godzilla Super Chat from earlier because my girlfriend called me on the phone. LOL. What were your thoughts again? Damn you, Laura. Not cool. Okay, I will tell you. So, to sum it up, Saber, cheers to you again. That's a funny Super Chat. So, I'm about to go to the bathroom, so you picked the right time. Basically, the thing with Godzilla is Godzilla currently opens on November, I remember this by the way, November 20th, the same weekend as Soul, Pixar Soul, which sounds fine. It's going to open right before the Thanksgiving weekend. However, on November 25th, right before Thanksgiving, No Time to Die, the Bond movie comes out. So I can see them wanting to move it. It's not in the worst release date. It's possible, but the difference between Soul, No Time to Die, and Godzilla vs. King Kong is that those two have trailers, those have buzz, those have posters, all that stuff. Godzilla vs. King Kong doesn't. So I could totally see them moving it because maybe they need something else, but they might just go, we have nothing in that date, and release dates are crazy, and moving things is super uber complicated. So I can see them, honestly, right now I think they'll probably stay with it, but I don't think it's the greatest release date, because if you ask most people what they're going to see Thanksgiving weekend, which is the weekend that really counts in all this, they're probably going to see Bond, because it's Daniel Craig's last Bond movie, and Godzilla vs. King Kong is, unless they have a killer trailer, I think it's going to be hard for that movie. So I think that's the deal. I'm sorry. Anyway, I think I went into more detail earlier, so check the timestamped links, which will be up when this goes live, probably at like 2 a.m. or something. But anyway, thank you again, Saber, for the super chat, and say Laura said hi. Anyway, cheers to you. The better Flash, Ezra Miller or Grant Gustin? I'm assuming Grant Gustin is on the TV show. I don't know. I think you're probably anyway. I'll answer. Sorry, I'll answer. I think Ezra Miller, I guess, because I've seen more of Ezra Miller. I don't have a high opinion of the Flash show. I've never really watched it. Sorry, but cheers to you, Javier and Saber Sparks. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think they probably will. But Godzilla has like, by the way, Godzilla right now. I was talking to people about the Godzilla eras, and like right now is the weirdest era because you have the Toho Godzilla series, you have the animated Godzilla series, you have the WB and Godzilla series. So you have like 3 at once, and I don't think they're fully making a Shin Godzilla sequel. They're making another Godzilla thing, so it's like 4 different things, and now my head hurts. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna stop by the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna come right back, and then we will go into Amazon Prime recommendations, which were helped out from my guy Will. So thank you very much, Will, by the way. And be ready to explain some of your recommendations in, let's say, a couple minutes. I will be right back, and thank you all for being here. Cool. Whoa. How's everyone doing there? Whoa. Hold on. Ugh. Whoa. Tsunami starts soon. That's true. Does anybody... Oh, I could see myself in the thing. But yeah. Alright, so... Alright, so I guess now I will talk about... Yeah. I guess it's shorter. I didn't realize... Well, it's not that much shorter. But hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to have some water. I like the GG's here. I watch a lot... Sophie really likes Kiki's delivery service, so we watch like every other day, every day. Totoro, Kiki, Frozen, Princess of the Frog. Them's the favorites there. Alright, Zane, you're legally obligated to be here? Well, I mean, if you want to watch, you know, Community, I don't want to stop you. Anyway, so, basically I want to talk about what I'm doing with the streaming thing. This is kind of a segment I'm only doing during when quarantine's happening because, as I mentioned before, so when I talked to my brother recently, I mentioned how I mentioned how he asked me for movie. I'm not saying okay. What about? So recently, my brother asked me for movie recommendations, and I realized I was just like handing out movie titles and not doing what people want, which is they just want recommendations based on each streaming service, like Netflix, for example, or Hulu, or whatever. So I thought every movie crap, I'll pick a different streaming service. Next week, I think will be Disney Plus, and go through and find out some recommendations, and then the next, because this is going to go on for a while, when I loop back around, I can't pick the same movies, basically. So that way, I'm recommending stuff to you, we can pass along our knowledge, and so forth. So this time, I actually asked Will, who I hope is still in the chat, and I let him pick some movies as well, which I can't, again, do next time. But one of the things that's interesting about Amazon Prime is, like I said, they actually have a ton of movies. They're not used as much, but obviously they have Bezos money, so they can buy movies and things like that. They do actually have a lot of good stuff, and I wish more people would watch them, although even I myself do not watch them that much. I was watching a lot with Carrie Musgrave's Christmas special around Christmas, which is a great kind of all-family Christmas special. I don't know if you know her, but I don't actually know her music very much, but I love that Christmas special. So if you love to watch it, you should check it out. Anyway, so here are the ones from Will, and then I will tell you mine. Can you recommend episodes of King of Queens from Bloxy Oxalico? I don't know King of Queens that well to do that, but I guess the one where he does, he works at the place and Patton Oswalt's in it, that one. Okay, so here are the recommendations from Will. Will, if you'd like to in the chat to explain some of these more, but I will not be able to do so. One is Dave Made a Maze from 2017. To my very loose understanding, it's about this guy named Dave who made like this very elaborate kind of homemade maze. I've heard good things about it, actually. I've never seen it. Maybe I should. The Dirties from 2013, which I should have looked up more. Fido from 2006, which I've always heard good things about. The Plague Dogs, which is a very dark animated film, and I believe has is the sort of follow-up to Watership Down, and then A Town Called Panic. Sounds very familiar. Now I'm going to Google, which I probably should have. A town. Hold on. Called what? Town Called Panic. This should what this show should be. Jim searches things. Oh, Will's told me about this. That's interesting. It's an animated film. It's an animated film about a cowboy and an Indian who plan to construct a barbecue pit for the birthday of their friend Horse. Oh, shit. I should watch this. That was a good pick, Will. Anyway, Town Called Panic. Check it out. It seems cool. I know you guys like animation, right? That's what the people tell me. So anyway, those are Will's recommendations. If he wants to tell you more about them, he should do so in the comments of this video if you'd like to. So here are some movies that I went through that I think would be good. One is Hereditary. It was on my top films of 2018. Midsommar, also from Ari Aster, is also on here. But Midsommar I think is great. I kind of prefer Hereditary. I think that is a really interesting kind of more like 70s pre-Halloween kind of spookier kind of horror film. I like how it mixes drama and horror. I love the Toni Collette performance. I also like Midsommar, so if you want to watch either Ari Aster, if you want to go through an Ari Aster double feature there, you can. That would be a weird night, so I don't know if you want to do that and would spread those out. But they're both actually really great. But yeah, Hereditary would be one of mine, as well as Midsommar. Since we're on that A24 kick, The Lighthouse from Robert Edgers recently got on Amazon Prime. If you ever wanted your quarantine to be all too real about two guys, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, giving a performance that feels right out of the guy who sang the SpongeBob theme song. Thank you, Will, for elaborating on those. Very nice of you. Also, thank you very much to Will. I will link your... Will has a cool YouTube channel. I'm actually going to link it in the description of this video after I edit it. When it goes up later with all the timestamp links, it'll say Will and all that stuff. You should check out. He's got some good stuff on his YouTube channel. And you should subscribe as well. And you can post that, Will, in the chat if you would like to. And everyone should subscribe. Anyway, So, what did I do? Hereditary, Midsummer, Lighthouse is definitely recommend. It's great. It's in black and white. It's actually a beautiful. It's just a beautifully shot film. It's shot in like 4:3 like Academy ratio. I really liked it. That was on my top 10 of this year. Lady Bird is. I think most people know Lady Bird. It's a great coming of age film. It's by Greta Gerwig. It was sort of her breakout. I think it reminds me of Being 17. It was a wonderful film. It almost got on, I think it was like number 2 of 2017 when that came out for me. So it's a film I really like. I would love to watch that again at some point. Another one in a classic film, and I think a lot of times when people talk about Audrey Hepburn, they talk about how beautiful it is, how stylish she is, all that stuff. I'm going to be honest, I never really got that shit, and I never got why she was a big deal. Never understood it. I saw Breakfast at Tiffany's. I'm like, she seems fine. I don't really get it. And then I saw Roman Holiday, and she is really great on Roman Holiday. You should check out. That's a great movie. She was so good in Roman Holiday. She actually, Gregory Peck actually didn't want top billing because he knew when people saw the movie, they'd be so spellbound by her. So if you ever wondered how she became a movie star, it's because of her amazing performance. And it's one of the greatest, seriously, greatest romantic comedies of all time. When romantic comedies used to be good, which is, I don't know when that was. Let's see. There's a couple other ones I want to recommend quickly. Cabin in the Woods. If you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, the Drew Goddard film, kind of satirizing horror and all that stuff, that's great. The First Magic Mike, I at least found that on there, and that's a wonderful movie as well. I really like Magic Mike. I'm a Soderbergh. I'm ridiculous for Soderbergh. Kind of an obscure one, Body Bags. This is John Carpenter's pilot to sort of make his own Tales from the Crypt for Showtime. Didn't work out, but he made it into kind of like a TV movie type thing. And it's not the greatest thing. The opening segment, which was kind of like this gas station thing, I remember being pretty good. You should check out my review of Body Bags, which is from 2012 or something. You can watch that if you see Body Bags. And I guess all the reviews, by the way, that I've made of these films will be in the description of this video, when this is a separate video later, I guess. So you can check out that review actually in the description of this video. One film that I love and is a great French comedy, and this might sound really, it's a weird movie, and maybe this would be right up Will's alley, is The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie. My dad showed it to me when I was a teenager, and I became obsessed with it. It's about this group of people who every time they sit down to have dinner together, something happens, and they never actually get to have dinner together. And they're all kind of like these evil bourgeoisie kind of people. It's kind of like a class commentary. It's very surreal. It's very funny. I've really liked it. I've gotten people into it over the years. I haven't watched it in a while, but it's a film that I hold very dear and I've always really liked. And it's just a very strange, weird movie. And I think you should definitely check it out. It's a cool one. And I've always liked that movie. It's funny, it's strange. The group of adults who are trying to have dinner are just like walking down a road. They keep cutting to that for some reason. I don't even know what it means necessarily. I just know that I like it. So check out The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie. Okay. Kingpin from the Farrelly brothers. I had to bring that down after I went all French and shit. Is one of the Farrelly brothers. I think had a really good period from Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin. There's Something About Mary. Kingpin is the one that often gets overlooked. I would recommend that one. I found Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I did not look for Excellent Adventure, so I can recommend that next time, motherfuckers. But Bogus Journey is still a lot of fun, and I think Bill and Ted has not been moved. I hope. And if it hasn't, you can get ready for that one. Now, here are two big ones. This one is one that Will has been pushing for me to review forever, and I have shot a review, and I need to edit it. And it's a great, seriously one of the better superhero movies I've seen a little bit. I think the director of this film should, if I saw this film and I worked for Marvel, I would be like, let's have a meeting tomorrow. But it's called Fast Color. It's basically about this girl. I'm going to butcher a lot of this, and Will did a much better video on this, and I'm just going to link his video in the description of this because he did a good job, and I think I did a good job with my review of it whenever I edited it, but he did a better one, and his is on YouTube now. But it's Fast Color. It's a wonderful film about kind of the idea of these women in this family who have these superpowers to have superpowers, and they have superpowers and they can like do all these cool things and stuff like that. And it is kind of this post-apocalyptic, family kind of dealing with their superpowers and the government coming after them, and it's actually really cool, and I'm doing a terrible job of describing it, and I should have looked it up again. I'm sure Will is like hitting his face going like, Jim, you're butchering this, but I will say out of all these films you should absolutely check out Fast Color. I think if you like Marvel movies, if you like kind of this more mainstream stuff, it's a cool indie movie in that I think it can like cross the line and be more appealing to a large audience. And if you like superhero kind of stuff and you don't know this film at all, it's like wonderful. It gets into the whole idea, it's all the like these. Anyway. I think I really like I liked Fast Color a lot. I know Will likes Fast Color. Now I have a super chat from him. Not a movie, but I check out the Prime original Tales from the Loop today. Odd sci-fi show, but worth watching. Has one of the deepest cameos for film nerds ever. Plus, Rebecca Hall is great to see. Rebecca Hall is great. Thank you very much, Will. And thank you, everyone. Check out Will's YouTube channel. Please put it in there, by the way, Will. And you did a great job helping me with this as well. And thank you for the super chat there. And finally, this is my last recommendation for Amazon Prime. It's called You Were Never Really Here. It is from, damn it, now I'm forgetting the director. And I even have, Lynn Ramsey. Yes, okay, I just remembered it right when I brought up. So You Were Never Really Here is a great kind of crime movie starring Joaquin Phoenix, doing a much better performance than Joker, if you ask me. And it's kind of a simple film, but it's actually considered ahead of its time. It came out about a year before Joker, probably almost like a year and a half before Joker, and before the Jeffrey Epstein thing. And you're wondering, what does that have to do with it? It's about a guy who rescues a girl who's stuck in kind of this kind of like illegal human trafficking house that happens in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, which everyone said this was excessive at the time. And he goes in and rescues her and breaks up this kind of like underage girl human trafficking ring. So don't fuck with Joaquin. But anyway, the cool thing about his performance in this is, in a lot of action movies, and this goes into the theory of it's not what you are about, it's how you are about it. In most action movies, he goes, oh, this guy's seen shit. He's done things. Like, he's seen these things, and you never really see it internalized, you know what I mean? You just see it, like, you just see him, like, look gruff and things. And you see his memories. You see how it's haunting him. You see how it fucked with him. And what Lynn Ramsey does is she takes a kind of simple genre thing and turns it on its head, but also has some cool, violent genre stuff. You Were Never Really Here is a great movie. Check that out on Prime. And I need to edit that review as well. But anyway, those are my recommendations for Amazon Prime. Thank you again for Will. Please check out his YouTube channel. It is linked below in the description to this video when it's a separate segment, and of this episode of Movie Crap, which it will be later. Epstein does get what he deserved, and I'm sure he didn't kill himself. Anyway, that's it for the Amazon Prime recommendations. And moving on to Patreon questions. I have 3 Patreon questions, then we'll answer some chat questions, and then we will all do whatever we're doing for the rest of the night. But yeah. Anyway, so the first one is from everybody's favorite, Sinram. He said, are there any films you do not enjoy due to unpleasant associations with an acquaintance or a particular time in your life? Example, in 1999, I was really looking forward to seeing Office Space because I had a terrible telemarketing job that I had to travel 2 hours on public transport to get to. Jesus. But now I cannot think about that movie without also remembering that shitty job. Also, that was when The Phantom Menace came out. Actually, the one, it's like about D&D, and it's like the Zero Therium, or Zero, it was like in 2013, it was about this guy who ran a D&D thing, and he like sort of ruined his friendships and stuff, and I kind of like shot a review, and I felt weird about that movie, and I think it was because like I didn't have a lot of friends at the time, and I kind of really wished I could be part of a D&D thing, and I actually went to a comic book store and kind of inquired, and they were kind of like not cool about like someone new to D&D trying to be in their group, and I kind of just wanted that experience, and so I don't think it's a very well known film, but I literally don't even like to think about that movie because it just brings me down to like sort of a bummer time. So I would say that one because I like something about it that just kind of, I don't feel that way now, but at the time I did. So. Anyway, I feel like I'm having a lot of bummer things in this. But anyway, Ransan Film. Next question. Ransan Film says, "What's your opinion on angry reviewers who review bad movies? Do you think that style can still work?" I don't particularly like it because I don't think every film deserves the same response. I disagree with that. And if you're doing that, you're sort of ruining what... Because if you're a critic, part of what the public takes of you is to show that you have varying opinions on things. But if you're always going to be angry, we sort of know how you're going to take certain things. And I think angry video game nerds sort of realize that and sort of calm down, has variance. But I think sometimes when they get so into that, it's hard to break out, much like what happened with Doug Walker. I feel like he has a harder time breaking out. So I don't like those personally. I think they can work with like Red Letter Media, but I also don't like how pessimistic they are. And I think like if you're just going to be one note, it just feels like if someone's playing one note on a keyboard, like that one note might be exhilarating for a little bit, but at a certain point you're like, but what else are you really doing with this? It's like, yeah, all movies suck. Cool. Like, I like movies, so I don't really get that. Anyway. So, Male Tears asks, "Hey Jim, I hope you and your cats and your family are healthy and safe. I heard New York is disintegrating." That's... I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. Did you know that Marilyn Manson played a drag queen and sang a song called La La in Party Monster from 2003? This is Male Tears' thing, by the way. I did know that, actually. I have seen it. It's just been a while. But anyway. All right, so let's go. Let's answer questions in the chat. What's the first? I should have looked at what the first question was before I started. Okay, let me drink some water. And cheers to everyone. Zane Power. Oh, by the way, Ransan Film. I want to mention this again. Him and I did that John Waters podcast. You should check it out. It's pretty cool. I talk about John Waters during his, I forget what it's called, but it's in my podcast playlist on my channel and also on his channel, which you should check out. It's a good channel. So, Zane Powers, a question. Thoughts on episode 1 of the new animated YouTube series, Satana? I haven't seen it, but I heard Saber mention it on his interview for Unsubbed Heroes, so I will, I'll check it out. I haven't seen it. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Nathaniel Fogo, would you ever let Sophie watch Speed Racer? The movie, yeah, I think so. If she was interested, I don't think I'll push it super hard. It's more of a thing for me. I don't know if it's a thing for kids, but if she, like I was watching it, or there's a new Speed Racer, maybe the cartoon, I don't know about the movie as much just because it's so long, but if, maybe, that's a good point. Maybe I would at some point. I don't know about right now, but because the length is an issue. I like it, but you know. Question, should I watch Purge 2 or Fifth Element? Let's say Fifth Element. Question from Austin. These are both from Austin. Sorry, Austin. Have you seen Spy Kids 3? I have not. I've seen Spy Kids 1, but it was a while ago. And I've been wanting to rewatch and watch other things. Nice, Eric. Jordan Salafalo. When is it appropriate to use the age of a movie as a valid criticism for it being bad in review? Oh, it's never. That's not why a movie's bad. A movie's bad because of what's in it. If someone says this movie is 40 years old, it's because of like something the movie does. But if someone says it's from 1981, it sucks. Like, fuck you. Like, you don't like movies. You like what came out when you like just what came out currently or what came out during your childhood, assuming your childhood is in 1981. And you know, that's a bullshit opinion, to be honest with you. That's bullshit. When people do that kind of stuff, they don't like movies. They just like what came out when they're around. And to me, that's not worth. Their opinion is invalid. Sorry, that was from. I feel like I get a little too real today. From Jordan Salafalo. Bruce Parker. Do you think the new Mallrats has any potential, or is Kevin Smith too in his head at this point? Okay. Here's the thing. I'm curious about what's going on with Kevin Smith, and I saw, I didn't bring this up in the Amazon Prime recommendations section, but I want to watch Jay and Silent Bob, the reboot, and I'm curious about what he's doing and coming back to a lot of this stuff. I think it's because I grew up with that stuff and getting into film and stuff. So I sort of think Mallrats 2 is a bad idea. I think the Jay and Silent Bob reboot was more of an idea I'm into. Mallrats 2, I'm like, unless he has a good spin on it, like, because malls are dying and he has, like, something interesting to say. I know he said, oh, we're going to talk about coronavirus. But to me, it's like, if he was talking about how malls are falling apart and how these guys it used to be so important to them, but kids, it doesn't matter. If he was saying more like that, but I think that's the problem with Kevin Smith now, isn't so much he's in his own head, it's that he sort of didn't get to experience what happened to everyone after Clerks, like what happened to his generation. Like Dante and Randall didn't get to have 9-to-5 jobs that they hated, you know what I mean? And that's what happened to most, like, you know, an office job or something like that. And that's more of what he should have done with Clerks. And he sort of, like, when he lost the audience, I think he just never understood where to get it again. Because he's at, like, cons and stuff. He's not dealing with the everyday guy anymore. And you can kind of tell that. Even though he presents himself as such, he's an everyday guy, but working in this extraordinary, you know, privileged thing that he got a once-in-a-lifetime shot kind of thing. And that's amazing for him, but he sort of lost the thread of the everyday man that Clerks certainly has. So I think that's what happened to him. Anyway, sorry about that. Disco Spider. I've been watching a lot of Spielberg movies lately. What are some of his best and ones you like, but no one really talks about? People talk about Spielberg a lot, so I don't know if he's the right director to say that about necessarily, but I'll tell you some of my favorites. Jaws, obviously, but that's one of the more better known ones. Close Encounters. Everything in his period from... I'd say, okay, I think everything from his beginning, like Duel, which is one of his first ones. You should see Duel. Maybe that's a more obscure one about a man who's being chased by a truck. It certainly influenced Jaws a lot, and it's great. It's written by Richard Matheson, who wrote a lot of the Twilight Zone stuff, and it's really good. It's as close as Spielberg ever got to a Twilight Zone thing. It was a TV movie, but then it was such a good TV movie, they did release it theatrically. That one's really great. But everything from Duel to E.T. is like next to perfect, or even 1941, 42, whatever that is so well made. I would recommend it just to see Spielberg at one of his filmmaking heights. I think Catch Me If You Can is maybe his last masterpiece. Tintin, I quite like. Let me see. I mean, Jurassic Park, duh. I think the 80s, you know, Last Crusade is great, but I'm not a Temple of Doom fan, but Temple of Doom is still good, so don't get upset about that. I actually think, what was it? The Paper, the new, whatever the one was with Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep, I think that's good. I think it kind of got overlooked. People, it is a lot to take in. It is a lot because it was so like on its sleeve, but if you saw it in the theater, it was great to see in the theater. Obviously Schindler's List, but you don't need that. As much as people need to see it, you don't need that right now. The Post. Yeah. Anyway, The Post. Sorry. I would say, yeah, AI is interesting, but you know, yeah, I would say that. But his period: Duel, Sugarland Express, Jaws, Close Encounters, 1942. Maybe that's what it's called. Raiders and E.T. are probably one of the greatest filmmaking runs I can think of. He's just next to hitting it out of the park every time. Color Purple is like, yeah. I don't like when he did the prestige shit. I think that was kind of a mistake on his part. Saving Private Ryan is also good. But see, the problem is every film he did was a major film. So, anyway. Zane Powers is Taco Bell real Mexican food. It is if you want it to be, but it also is not. So don't think that. Zane Powers, what kind of penguin are you? The nice kind, I guess? Jacob Shelter, any plans on, or did you already review the interview given North Korea's situation? I reviewed it when it came out at the time, so search my name in the interview. I think it'll be there, or you'll get an interview with me on a podcast. Maybe, I don't know. I did review it. Is he dead? I don't want to make a comment on that. Eric Penalta, hey, Jim Gisriel, I read an article on HBO Max that says Close Enough might come out in the summer or the fall. That would be cool. I hope it does. I'm excited for Close Enough. We'll see. Seems like no one has a real date on that. So, anyway. Embla T, have you seen The Lost City of Z? I believe it's on Amazon Prime. I think it's one of the most overlooked great movies of the last decade. I've heard that, and I need to do that. I need to have done that for a while. So, also, I didn't mention Lorena, about the Lorena Bobbitt thing, but I'll save that for next time. That's a great documentary. I watched all that, by the way. Also, by the way, The Last Dance on ESPN right now. I'm not a sports fan, really. I know jack shit about sports, but that is a great documentary. That should be the documentary you're watching. The Last Dance, 30 for 30, comes out 2 episodes every Sunday. I'm excited for that. I just love it. It's such a great documentary. I might review that at the end. I really like The Last Dance. It's a damn good documentary. And after their OJ one, which was also great, this is ESPN makes good docs. I don't care if you like sports or not. They make good documentaries. Cornbread. Do you think you could start linking your news sources in the description of movie crap? If not, it's fine. I get it's a lot of work. Just wanted to ask. The main reason I don't do that is I already do the timestamp things. I don't do it more because I take in a lot of stuff and read a lot of articles. I do have articles linked in the script I go through in case I need to re-go over something. But the main reason is sometimes I'll get something from... I didn't even talk about Quibi. Oops. I realized I scrolled through that. Did I just skip over it? How did that happen? Oh man, I totally forgot about Quibi. Much like the American public. Where was Quibi? I've noticed sometimes I forget about something, much like the Edgar Wright thing. Oh, I totally forgot about Quibi. Poor Quibi. But yeah, that's probably one of the reasons is I'll just read things from so many places that if I were to give a source, you might go through and go, well, he mentioned this thing, but it's not in there. So it would get a little convoluted, and it's more of a time thing also. So that's why, if you're wondering. But if there's a specific thing, I can try to send you something. If there is something, then we can work something out. Just let me know. Evil Ira, how difficult would it be for a studio to remaster a CG animated film with better textures like Toy Story Monsters Inc.? I don't really want that. I like when films are what they are on their original release. I guess it would be easy, but I don't think you should be doing that. I think it's a part of film history and what it is, and I get that people might be turned off by that, but that's on them, not the movie. Not plausible. What movie would you like to see Creech crossover with? I'd go with the Paul Blart Cinematic Universe. I would say Fast and Furious. Can you imagine Vin Diesel riding Creech with the monster truck? That would be amazing. Bruce Parker, if you were an actor being forced by Tyler Perry to live in his studio, what Fall from Grace set would you choose to live in? I don't know any of his shows, but maybe one of the dramas, maybe? I don't even know. It's okay, I'm blood tea. I wish, anyway. Austin, favorite Chinese food? General Tso's chicken, egg roll, soda. So, okay. Wait, where are we? Hold on. Oh, I don't want to miss anybody. Let's try to get everyone tonight. Okay. Do you feel... Is that... Yeah, okay. This is from Zane Powers. Do you feel new Lego movies under Universal will do good? I feel that despite them blaming Warner's for them flopping, them being a niche franchise and coming out so close is what killed them. I agree with that. I think Universal could turn it around, especially because Illumination is so good at making hits. It could happen, but we'll see. I'm curious how they're going to change it, but will Chris Pratt even be involved? I don't know, but I don't have high hopes, but we'll see what happens with that one. Disco Spider, I've been going through that AFI Top 100 list. What are some classic films that should have been included and are necessary watches for cinephiles? That is a good question, Disco Spider. Well, Public Enemy, I would say. I know I'm a Wellman fan. Public Enemy, they don't have enough animation. They don't have any Ghibli, so I put Totoro and Kiki on there and Spirited Away. They don't have Halloween from John Carpenter. They don't have, which should be on there. I would put The Thing from John Carpenter as well. I would put, I think The General from Buster Keaton is on there. I would put one, I would probably put, I don't know what else Keaton I would put on there. Probably Steamboat Bill Jr., Pinocchio, being John Malkovich, let's say, and I'll just throw out one more. I'm just trying to think of what's not on there. I hope I'm accurate also. I would actually put This Is Spinal Tap. I think that's an incredibly influential film that not enough people give credit to, so there we go. I think those were some good ones. I hope so. I don't think This Is Spinal Tap is on there. I think Blade Runner is, but not. There's something else. Anyway, I'm sure there are. If I really go through it, maybe I should at some point. Zane Powers, thoughts on Community? I've been rewatching it, and it's been pretty cool. So I love Community. I watched it when it was on TV, and even on Yahoo. Remember that? Ace the Wind Rider, do you think this virus will cause there to be more or less mass pandemic movies? Probably more. I'd say probably more. Yeah, is Nero's Q back? I'm confused about these things. Not plausible, not a question, but it'd be weird when cartoons in the future talk about or reference the coronavirus. I agree. I saw Pan talking about that on his stream last night. Carter Wright, what's your favorite recent horror movie? Invisible Man. Definitely. Why did you creech so dirty on the last podcast? I don't know. Sorry about that. Do you watch Red Letter Media? I do sometimes. I haven't in a while, but I love their Star Wars things. I don't watch them regularly though. Where is Mark from Parks and Rec? I don't know. It's a good question. Remember the CGI Astro Boy movie? I did. I saw it in theaters. I sort of liked it at the time, but it's been a while. Favorite anime? Probably Cowboy Bebop. Is this pod racing? Sort of. From Austin, last one was Nathaniel Fogo. Bruce Parker is spinning a good trick. Sort of. Sorry, Austin, have you seen the TV show The Boys on Prime? No, I haven't. I wanted to. I don't know if I'll ever get to it at this point. Zane Powers, thoughts on when something's plot do something awful in their storytelling, an excuse is saying it's more realistic. What's the worst case? Thoughts on when something's plot did something awful in their storytelling. And I'm confused by this. I can't think of one. What's the worst case? Probably like Shrek or something. I'm not sure. Zane Powers. Maybe ask me this again. I'm confused about that. Oh, hold on. Okay, Jacob Scheller, thoughts on that Fraggle Rock rival, and do you think Warner Brothers should have been a better place for the Muppets as they treated Sesame Street? That is a good point. I think I agree with that, because they've been doing great stuff since Sesame Street was on CNN, and they've been using them correctly. So I sort of agree with that. Yeah, I mentioned the Fraggle Rock revival earlier, but I think it's cool. I haven't watched an episode, but I think it's a cool idea, and I'm excited for it. From Medela Butterfly, will you do a free trial and review of Shudder? Not a bad idea, but I think the problem with that is I don't know if I get to really enjoy it as much since everyone's here, but I can think about that. I will think about that. That's a good one, Medela Butterfly. I have like a little Red Bull in there. Thank you very much for the super chat. Cineram, will malls rise again during the zombie apocalypse? I think so. That was on the first episode of was it Midnight? Yeah, the show. Whatever. We're getting towards the end. Which of the big companies are most likely to close or be bought from COVID? Disney, Warner Brothers, Universal, Sony, or Viacom? Viacom and then Sony. That's my answer. Will is right. Bridge of Spies. I can't believe I forgot about Bridge of Spies. Favorite and least favorite presidents. Favorite Lincoln. Least, well, he can figure that out. I missed a bunch of questions? Did I? Oh, I missed Jordan Stalafa. When is appropriate? I did that one. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Anyway, if I missed them, please ask me in the Discord chat. I'm sorry, I try to get to everyone. I like Embla Bro, you just recommended some Ari Aster movies that your hesitant recommendation list. What's your favorite part of The Blind Side? None of it. Thank you. YouTube's ads won't let me forget Quibi. Sorry. Say respect to Quibi topic. Oh, you want me to do Quibi? Basically Quibi has... I'll just do Quibi and maybe we'll just end it there. Well, there's... yeah. Basically, what I was going to say on Quibi, it is dropped from the top 100 apps. It's lower than the top 100 apps. People, major parts of marketing and other executives of Quibi have been quitting. It seems like it's completely falling apart, and it doesn't seem any better. And I don't know a lot of people are watching. I've heard some people on podcasts say they're watching it, and it isn't that horrible, but it does seem like it's falling. I hope the Fresh Daily with Andre Meadows goes to YouTube, because I think that's a good show. Do you review super indie animated films that nobody knows about? From Cody Vibrate. I would be interested, and I've done that before. I have to know about them, but the other issue is I only have so much time, and certain things need to go certain days and stuff like that. So if you have one you're really passionate about, let me know, and we'll see what goes on there. Eric, I'll do Eric's and then we'll end it, I guess. Do you like Sanford and Son and Married with Children? And if you do, Fred Sanford and Al Bundy are my favorite TV characters of all time. I haven't seen either in a long time, but I remember enjoying them. So yeah. All right, I think that's going to be... I think that's it. Anyway, let's just end it. Carter Wright was wrong. Okay, I think that's going to end it. But if you would like to ask me a question, do so in the comments of this video right away, and I will get to it. Or go to the Discord, my Discord, which you should definitely join, and go to the Ask Jim channel. And you can ask me a question. I always try to answer them, and I will get to answer them all before I go to bed tonight. And yes, I do go to bed that late. I don't sleep a lot. Anyway, all right, so what came out this week? Obviously, Ransom Film with the John Waters podcast. So you should check that out. It's in my podcast playlist. But in terms of what came out from me, we had the Netflix recommended segment, the Golden Arm review segment videos, and then I had the How Did It Bomb Speed Racer, the Mars Needs Moms review, which I did shoot while I was writing the Saber Sparks video. So if you're like, why did that happen that way? That it happened because I used it as a way to like get my thoughts out for writing that, and I thought it'd be cool to have my own video as well as his. And then the Willoughbys, which came out yesterday. I will have my Amazon Prime segment up tomorrow. There'll be a movie review vote, which I think the sound is weird because of the sound issues and everything like that. Sinram, it's cool. Thank you for joining anyway. Subscribe to him also. Rocket Lomax. Okay, you throw me a question, I'll do this. All right. Rocket Lomax said, you said in your Detective Pikachu review that video game movies are still in the X-Men 2000 phase, but has it really had a Superman the movie yet? I'd say no. And you're probably right, it needs one. So maybe that was a bad example. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you're all doing great. You're all very supportive, very wonderful people tonight. And I hope everyone is safe. Please help out anyone you can who needs help right now. If you can help out anyone who lives near you, just buy them, some toilet paper if you're at the store or something. Just ask. Just be courteous and kind to people, and watch out and stay healthy. Wear a mask, gloves, and all that stuff. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next Saturday. And subscribe if... This is the part where I click the end and it takes off. Subscribe if you would like to. See you next Saturday, guys.